My name is Suzanne Piotrowski. I'm the principal and owner of Badfish Consulting. And today I shared my thoughts on leading outside the lines for the Women's Conference. So what I presented about was I shared some thoughts about my own leadership and career journey, but in the context of thinking about what is leadership. You know, as the women in the room who are part of this really awesome conference are thinking about their own lives, about the moments that spark them, the things that fulfill them, the unique strengths that they bring to not just the work of leadership, but to the work of their lives, to encourage people to really think about those things, tap into those strengths, to face the challenges ahead, both organizationally and globally. My motivation to present, well, I was asked. My motivation is, so these are all women who have applied on a Saturday, in a dreary Saturday in Rochester to be part of an inaugural leadership conference. We need more leaders, we need more great leaders, and we need more women in leadership roles. The work of leadership is really migrating over the last number of years, and especially exponentially right now, to a space in which it's not just important to harness the talents of our head and our hands, but of our hearts. And so one of the number one leadership challenges right now is how to connect people and how to make connections between industries and among industries in order to innovate and into really inventing the future. I think we rise to leadership when we are tapping into that which we hold dear, that which we value, and we are able to not just use our strengths, but to really understand how to unleash the strengths and unlock the possibilities in others. So in those spaces, it's about claiming your own talent, claiming your power, and putting yourself out there, putting yourself into those positions, but recognizing leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about, as Brene Brown would say, getting it right, not just about being right. So let's take the pressure off of ourselves to always get an A, but to think about how are we going to prototype, how are we going to experiment, what can we try to create new worlds? And I think that's the path, in creating the path for others. So it's not just, hey, putting ourselves out there, but it's recognizing that our responsibility for each other is to also plow the path and invite others along on the journey. We can learn from each other, but at the same time, there's a lot to be learned by just tapping into our own inner wisdom. Honestly, I hope that the participants today had an opportunity to reflect on things that they love and some of their own aspirations, and really think about what are those areas that might be holding them back, and how can they find the support, create the support, and support themselves and be kind to themselves in terms of their own inner dialogue to be able to help propel themselves forward. Honestly, I think a next step for leaders is you got to get to know yourself. And it's a lifelong journey, but you have to really get to know yourself, work on yourself. There's always something new to learn and become aware of, because the more you're aware of how you are, the more you understand how you impact the world. I think the other next steps are to really get clear about, you know, what are some things you want to do that you might think, oh, I can't do that, and figure out a way to kind of start chipping away at that. There you go. I haven't heard of it. But anything that helps women to connect with each other, to share their stories, to have real, authentic conversations is awesome, and to provide opportunities. You know, I offered to the group, and like, contact me, and I honestly mean that. If there's anything I can do, because it might be a conversation between us, but it might be that I can connect them with people that I know who are in fields that are of interest to them or that have opportunities. And I think it's a matter of networking with each other, but networking for ideas. And the more, the merrier. We need more women in not just leadership, but in the technical disciplines and in all kinds of fields. So, you know, we tend to be present in school, but not always in leadership positions in organizations, and it only changes if we start showing up and stepping in.